What's up, everyone? And thank you for joining me on this episode of In the Trenches. 60 episodes. Wow. 60 different creatives have sat across from me sharing their incredible stories, their craft, their ups and their downs, inspiring me along the way, and I hope inspiring you. For that, this is a special episode, and it required a special guest. I brought back our first guest ever to the show, who requires, in my opinion, no introduction. So let's jump right now into it with my friend, Tanner Gallagher.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
We are back. We are back.
We tell the fucking world we're so fucking back.
Oh, we got the band back together. Man, hey, dude, thank you for coming in here and hanging out again.
It's a great honor to be back.
I remember the right when we got our first episode of the podcast was
Remind me when that was, because
February of like a year and change ago. We have done 60 episodes. This here is the 60th episode. And you were the first. And
let's take a moment.
Let's take it.
Let's take a moment.
Let's get that. That's true.
And acknowledge that. Yeah, when I came here, dude, you had a goal, you had passion, and you know, here we are. And I think it's fucking great.
Thank you,
dude.
And the room's changed.
All the different people that have been in this room.
Yeah,
I think that's fucking awesome. And I don't know.
Let's toast. Let's have a good time here.
I have to put some more booze in here, but you know, it's fine.
Always. You know, the thing is that
we got mugs now, ladies and gentlemen. You know,
the episode we did, the first one, is also the only episode that is over 2 hours.
Oh, no shit. Well, I think that was because we didn't know how to edit down.
We didn't know shit. Well, we still don't edit.
Well, okay.
We just talked and talked and talked and talked, and we had some. Remember, we had
you could narrow it down too. You know,
no, dude, we were just going. We had some drink. You know.
Oh yeah.
The early rounds had some.
I think I had a big old thing of whiskey.
Well, you brought it.
I know.
We pounded it.
Yeah. And now it's gone.
Now it's gone. So what's been new with you,
dude? Enjoying this off season, man.
I wouldn't call the work you've been doing with
I know
Steven.
I keep forgetting this. I keep forgetting this. Yeah. I've been working with Steven Wilson Jr. And if people don't know him, well, soon you will know him. Mm-hmm. Totally different, big old change of pace, but in like a great way, like kind of changing my whole approach to how I shoot a show. And we're documenting more than, you know, trying to get this one shot and trying to get in and out. Really, it's more of just like being in a moment of,
sure. I
mean, he's playing, you know, songs that are making people cry.
Yeah.
I'm used to Hardy jumping around in fire and, you know what I mean? Giving the middle finger. It's just, it's different.
Has it been an adjustment for you as well, though? Because I know when I'm with you out with Hardy, you know, it's high octane, and shooting a moment, sometimes you're like, I feel like I need to be doing something, but you know, you don't. You're just, I need to stay in the moment, right?
Yeah. Well, the Hardy thing for 5 years, you can probably agree to this, you know, when the moments are going to happen.
Sure.
So you have the schedule and it's like, all right, for this song, I'm going to be here at that moment. Mm-hmm. With a new artist, you're still learning the songs. You're still learning when those moments are going to come about. Yeah. And then, you know, definitely not drinking on this gig. You know, the 45-year-old guys they like coffee and they like their weed, and that's pretty
and
much
their
it.
Sleep.
And they like their sleep. Yeah. It's conservative, but it's good. It's healthy, and it's changes progress.
How did that whole introduction come to play?
Steven and his guys were out with us first weekend of the Quit tour. That was last year. And I've known of him, and I think I met him at like an after party or something. And I went up right up to him. We were together for
Yes,
this.
I was going to say
we
you
were
and
together for this.
Yes.
At the Big Loud after party.
Yep.
And I don't even know what I said to him, but I imagine I said the words. I was like, dude, I don't want to work with anybody else but you.
Yeah.
And that was the truth.
Yeah.
And I knew he didn't have any money. He don't have it, he's at the very bottom, but
I remember you saying that, and that's part of the joy I get when I see all the stuff you've done for him. I'm like, wow, you stuck to your guns and you believed in that.
Yeah.
You still do. It's amazing.
Well, we're still in the beginning stages, but his numbers are doubling, and they're going to be for fall time. I think he's doing like 2 nights or 3 nights at the Ryman. So to go from like a room of 500 people at a bar that has one light, this is how this is how the stage looks, and I'm just like, how am I going to make something out of this? So yeah, there is growth.
Yeah,
and it's super cool to be a part of that. But back to how we met him when he showed up to Bus Call. It was just him and his steel player, and he they were gonna put him on like the 5th bus. The 5th bus is like the
Steven?
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
there's wherever there was room. And the 5th bus is like, I don't even know those people, honestly.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
just vendors.
Yeah.
And he was like on his way, and I was like, hey man, what are you doing? And he's like, I guess I'm on this bus. And I was like, fuck no, you're not.
Oh, fuck you say.
You're coming on our bus. And I didn't even like ask the TM. I was like, he's coming up. And we're like, all right. Once that happened, dude, we've been laughing ever since. And those guys, we just been friends. Yeah,
cool.
We just clicked.
The music is so different too.
Dude, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
You hold on it.
Yeah.
As a viewer or a listener, you hold on what he's very polarizing in a way, like, with the way he sounds.
Yeah, I know. And it's important to know that it's not just the sad songs. Like I was with him. I guess that was a big thing that I've been doing recently. I was in the studio with him. Dude, these guys are rocking out. So like, obviously he's known for like making people cry with a song called Father Son. These guys are like fucking rock and roll. And the new record is going to be that. And then when you see them on stage, like when you come on the road with us, they'll probably play like 6 songs, and it's just going to be just banger. And so it's cool to be around that. It's still different music. We're used to the commercial country. Mm-hmm. This is like middle of nowhere. Yeah,
backwoods.
West Virginia. We always reference Gummo, and
Gummo.
It's the Gummo country, man, and it's so good. I love it.
Has that, because there's more I don't know what you call it. I guess has it changed the way you shoot? Like even photo. Are you doing anything different from, say, Hardy to him in photo?
Yeah.
Are you giving yourself personal goals or personal little, to be different than what you do with Hardy, or is it?
I'm still learning though.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd think that it'd be quick to like, you just hear the music and then all of a sudden you go out there and you're like, oh, this is how this is going to look now. Mm-hmm. It's actually hard.
Yeah.
And I thought I could like, quick scoop it up, and we've gotten some cool stuff. We have. So yeah, I do shoot differently. I think I try to hone in on this. He has this persona that's like, he's got this villain. He would play like such a good villain in a movie, or like even like a cameo of like kind of intimidating / scary kind of a guy. And he always gets referenced, like God bless him, he gets referenced to like Jeffrey Dahmer, just the way he looks and the glasses.
Sure.
He admits it.
I can see that.
He admits it. So I always like to, I try to, I did that with Hardy in the sense of like, we got to make him look cool. We got to make him look intimidating or whatever. So there's certain video shots that I try to stage. But at the same time, I've learned Steven likes it raw, and he doesn't like things staged. He doesn't like, even like, I think in his music videos too, like he wants to film like random people shaving their heads, and they're not actors. You know what I mean? Like he got these people for maybe $10 down the road, and so he wants me to apply that to, our content on the road.
You should look up a director named Tony K.
Okay.
He I don't know if I'm supposed to say most infamously, but for you,
Kay
I would
or just K?
Kay,
Okay.
I think. But it would be the movie with Skinhead movie, not Skinhead, but the movie with
American History X.
Yeah, American History X.
Yeah.
Was his break, and I wouldn't say breakout, but he was a commercial director too, but he was known for
that movie's profound.
Yeah. And he's such an interesting director, a visualist. He would go to on commercial sets, he would want go to mental institutions and shoot people and get these things. The only way he would get that authenticity would be in his mind would be go to these places and shoot these things.
That's what you have to do.
So
that's what you should do. Get into it and give a shit about it. Steven has his director. I haven't met him personally. He's devoted to him, and I think he does a really good job.
Sure.
At least for what he's trying to accomplish right now. Mm-hmm. It'll be different when he's on another level, and it's oh no, Steven, we got more money. So, I think the branding is so on point, and he really tries to he wants it to be just like the place he grew up. So Gummo is he's oh, that was the most relatable story I've ever seen. And I was okay, that different, I didn't grow up that way, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
So yeah, all of his music videos, he wants it to be like those people and how he grew up. And it's raw and it's grit and it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's why Gummo was so awesome. Yeah. It was the most uncomfortable movie ever, but it was effective. If you felt uncomfortable, that means it
for sure
fucking did its job. Yeah.
Are you still loving what you do?
Yeah.
Does working with a different artist pretty intensely like you have been while Hardy's been
Hardy's a dad.
Or he's dad, yeah. Okay, but in between you really invested a lot of that time.
Yeah, I will always love what I do. Still that moment of when you're on the road or it's right before a show or even it's during a show and you take that moment in, you're even you're not looking at your work. It's the place that I am in and the stuff that I'm doing. It's still fucking so awesome.
It is.
So yeah, I got that with Steven. I got it in a different way. It was for the first time filming people cry in the
I saw something
in the crowd, and it's just dude, should I lift the camera up? Should I not? Should I take this moment in? So I just both.
Yeah.
Because how do you capture it without being a distraction?
Exactly.
And ruining their moment and everything,
or making it feel contrived because now you've done something too fancy. It doesn't make the moment as honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm still learning, but either way, I told him I didn't want to work with anybody else. And every show, it's this is a reminder,
Sure.
I'm not making that much money. I don't need to make that much money, but I love the music. You could see the growth. You could see the show's getting bigger, just like it was with Hardy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I care about.
Yeah. I mean, well, you've helped brand Hardy, and now you're doing it with Steven. So how's so about your work? I love talking to you about work, man. Just in general,
work all day, man.
Just kind of personal goals and styles and trends that you're trying. Things that you want to, inspired to do going into this new tour with Hardy, Co-Wetzel, and Steven. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what we did. We had a meeting recently, and they give me a guideline of what they want, and it took me a while to adjust to this because I had so much creative freedom, and I was I can make whatever I want, and it was clearly doing well, and I was making those recap videos, and now we kind of narrowed it down because now it's all right, his socials have cooled off a little bit, so let's hone in more on the stats of it all. Unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately in the sense of because me and you talk about this all the time about artistic integrity and all that stuff.
Sure.
But we still want it to be effective.
Absolutely. It has to work.
Yes. Like it would suck to make something and then all of a sudden no one sees it.
Yeah, and it falls flat.
I've learned that you got to play that game.
Yeah.
So they've given me a guideline of what they're expecting, the kind of work they're expecting. But I will still always have that thing in the back end of like, okay, but I still want to do the big projects. I still want, at some point he'll need it. So why not just try and do it on our own?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe if you come out, maybe we, do a little something and make something cool and shock the world. And
well, that's not going to be too difficult on that tour. My Lord. When does it start? This soon?
Yeah, that's going to be end of May. We've hung out with the guys before.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Man, we love those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they get down.
So they're also younger than us. Let's keep that in mind. Yeah, true. 4 years in your 30s, man. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, you're gonna be like Steven and me in us 40s. You're gonna need your sleep here soon.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of sleep now. yeah. Well, it's one thing that's changed between the first episode and this episode, man. Love my sleep. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Party's got a kid now. And fun fact, Co has a kid coming.
Really?
I don't know if the world knows that.
I didn't know that. Well, they might know now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's been on and off with his, I think it's a high school sweetheart or something.
Well, that'll hopefully, align things to this maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know. There's only one way to find out. But that tour is going to be awesome. It's going to be just rock and roll down the gutlet. But then Hardy's got music coming out, which is, technically it's country music now. Yeah. So we'll see how that has influence.
Well, I heard something about his song similar to I heard it. Yeah. Nate did it. Yeah. Nate put something out. Nate Smith put something out there.
Did you witness that at all or no?
I didn't understand it or something. Like
this was literally. This was 3-4 days ago. Just by coincidence. There's no beef or anything. I mean, obviously you just did the music video.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah.
Hardy just texted us out of nowhere. It was me and Tracker, and he was like, "Yeah, Nate just put up a sample of his new song coming out. It is identical to the song that he has coming out."
Yeah.
This happens all the time. I want to say in Nashville, rarely does it happen at the exact same time of release.
So therefore it's not so in plain sight or almost so obvious.
It's just terrible timing. So he was just like, "Fuck."
Is that a producer thing? I mean, know what I mean.
Sometimes you hear of demos getting passed around, and then so one writer will have this melody or something, and then he'll take that to his next session. I don't think that's you probably shouldn't do that. No.
I mean, like, you see it in the movie business, right? In the scripts and stuff like that, when like you're in a movie, you're in a pitch meeting, right? And your pitch is falling flat. Like, oh God. Well, okay, cool. Would you got anything else? You're like,
yeah. Well,
shit.
I got this thing in my back pocket
and it was from a conversation that you heard, and it was just because you're in this panic or something. That happens in that industry all the time, and that's why you have, like, I don't know what it is, things are approved and copywritten and things.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know
anything. I just saw it. I didn't know because it was Nate posting it.
If you get rights from a demo or it has to be released. I don't know what the rules are.
I didn't know if it was a thing.
So again,
they did a song together. I didn't know if it was a thing.
No, so we listened to the song and it's identical. And so Hardy was just like, we had a whole plan of like releasing teasers and stuff. And he's like, just put the whole thing out. Oh, not the whole thing. I think we did like first verse and chorus. And it is what it is. I don't know, And at the same time, he's got so much more new music coming out. And
absolutely,
dude, he'll have 2 songs coming out in one day, and then I don't even know if I can tell the people, but he's got so much coming out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you met the little baby?
I met the baby.
You have?
I met Rosie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was like 3 days ago.
That's cool.
This thing. It's just like it's a thing. You know what I mean? It's like this delicate
peanut.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to, you're calling it, and you shouldn't be doing that. It's
Yeah, it's
she's like
precious
this
little
perfect
girl. Yeah,
thing.
precious little baby.
It was weird. It was like, because we've had fun for 5 straight years,
Yeah.
6 years or something like that. And so like we're walking upstairs and there's like a stroller and I'm like, is this like a prank? Like, did somebody put this here like on accident? No. And him and Callie, they're the same people. They got a different schedule now, They're already talking about Callie's like wants to go to we're going to Europe in June and she wants to go to like 9 different places, with the baby. And everyone's like, okay,
rock and roll.
Whatever you want to
Keep it
do.
moving.
Yeah. Nothing changes, but something kind of changes. Yeah, we'll see what happens with new Hardy from that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna change for the better.
Well, I mean, you got what, 2 kids?
I have 2. And it's given me focus. So
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you as like yourself, you're still the same person
Oh,
as
yeah,
like
hell
the
yeah.
guy in this picture over here.
Yeah, I'm still the same
That
dude.
doesn't change.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The thing when you got off when we were done with the first episode, you were like, man, shit, I didn't ask you I didn't ask you questions. You beat yourself up because you said you wanted
we're
to.
also 2 strangers to like
exactly
all this stuff.
I told you this, but there's no mystery to why I wanted you to be the first episode because I was nervous. I was so scared that I needed a friend who was going to.
You didn't share this. At all.
Didn't. Oh, but I would. That's why I mean, it was special to have you on. But I was like, who can disarm me and make me have fun on the first episode? And I was like, that's got to be Tanner. And that's
I guess I hope so. Man.
Remember the board we had a big ass
anything,
board.
I think it was like the first sentence. I was like, just say fuck and let's just get this over with. Let people know there are no rules. Here.
Yeah. There's gonna be an E at the bottom of this one.
So much going on here.
There was. We're gearing up though. I mean, the couch is for bands and more people.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
Yeah.
We have a camera over there.
Yeah, camera here.
Something up there.
Yeah, we're getting kind of fancy. I mean, 60 episodes has not been easy at all.
Yeah.
I mean, 60, not missing 1 week.
I know.
A year and
I thought I was coming
3
in at
months.
50 and you just said 60. It's kind of wild.
And the hardest part was summer. Being on with Jake the whole tour and coming home and having jobs when I come home, edit or facilitate the job I did on the tour, guests, aligning guests. And, as we all know, summer in country music, we're all hosed. We're gone. And we're home for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
you
barely.
Come home, you just want to sleep.
Trying to plan it. So that was that was triumphant.
I feel like you treated this. I mean, it's almost like being a dad. Like you have no choice. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So you came here and you're like, well, I chose to do this, so I got to fucking do it.
Well, we definitely did it with, the same production focus.
Yeah.
And it's been.
We should go through what you have learned in 60 episodes about yourself. And not about the operational stuff.
What I learned about myself?
Yeah. Yeah.
In what context? As a host or in general I learned a lot from all my guests.
I think you've always done projects. So I don't think it's that. But this was like your first putting yourself out there, but also taking the lead. And you're doing it with, like a lot of these artists or whoever they are. I don't know. You got to have.
I learned.
You've had some growth.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
I see what you mean.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
I met with Mike D, who is Bobby Bones' producer for one of his podcasts.
Yeah.
He's been a real help of kind of guidance. And at around, I don't know, 18 episodes, or 15 or so. Sounds so weird to say that. Hey, when you hit 25, there's a landmark. When you hit 50, there's a thing. And I did learn that there was at 15 episodes, I kind of stopped forgetting that the camera was there.
Oh, nice.
Then at 25, I kind of started to lean into the real me and not trying to be a host.
Yeah.
Even though you are a host.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to be a host with you.
Right.
I'm trying to be me. And I was worried about it coming across too in the other direction. So I've learned to kind of fall into my place to not, I learned that you can edit even though we don't much, but it at least takes the pressure off of me.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I think I've learned is that to do this podcast, you are no different. You're no different than the artist we work with.
Mm-hmm.
So you're constantly having to edit clips, promote those clips. It's exhausting. So almost now when I talk to, like when I'm with the artists I work with, I'm much more sympathetic.
I think it's also like we're so used to being behind the camera.
Yes.
So to try to be the same person behind the camera as in front, I feel like
you nailed it.
That's the goal, or that's the challenge.
Yes. And that's why Hardy and some of those guys that I waited, because I didn't want to be a different person than I am with Hardy when I work with Hardy.
Yeah.
You see, and I had to get comfortable in this space so that at least when I'm in said hot seat talking to everybody, it's,
you know how it is, like working with famous people. There are people that when they get in front of the camera, they go like this.
Yeah.
And it's another persona and they turn it on. And honestly, it's not to say that's a bad thing. That's how they want to be projected on.
For sure.
Or people like Hardy, he's the same person.
Yeah.
Anywhere and everywhere. He's the exact same, I always that's what I wanted to be, I never wanted to be an actor or like have a different persona in front of the camera.
How have I done? I
mean, even the realest person I know.
I haven't changed, right?
Right. But it's like you said, it's like you're more comfortable and you're like, it's not a walk in the park, but it's a nice walk in the park.
It's going to be nice I was trying to get to 60 all along.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
why 60?
Because I've heard a lot of people get to 50, and a few other people I've said they've been like, yeah, season was 55. I did 56. And I was like, 60.
It was like the price is right.
Yeah.
Trying to get one more.
I had someone say to me, hey, what's your budget for this? And I'm like, X. And they're like, oh, we've never spent more than this. I go, oh, okay. Oh, sorry. What is it you spend? And they said, oh, I go, okay, yeah, add a penny to that. Thank you. Gotta be on the top.
Yeah. Honestly.
Add $1.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's so cool. I think whether it was this thing or it was another thing, I think just like it's an add-on to what you got going on in your life.
Thank you.
And it's a challenge to do something new and different.
It was.
And anytime you're able to do that is fucking cool. I respect that. Yeah, man.
Thank you. What were you doing down in with Jim Bob down in Broadway?
The Jim Bob thing, man, very unexpected. So the background story. Hardy wrote a song called Jim Bob. They created a character that is almost like a cartoon character.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically this drunk person. And now they want to create this whole social media around it. Mm-hmm. So they approached me, they as in the label, and they're just like, we need a pitch deck. We don't know what to make. We have ideas, but they're not really hitting home. So I put together a pitch deck. And then after I thought that was done. I thought it was, like, there you go. Good luck. And then they're like, do you want to just film it? And I just said, yeah, why not? I got 2 friends who like they're a part of production stuff. And they're also just stupid as I am. So they'll do some stuff that, the normal person wouldn't do.
Sure.
My buddy Tyler, he's the actual Jim Bob. And, I love him to death. But yeah, you give him $100, he'll jump, he'll jump into a river right now,
Good to have those around.
Yeah. And he gets more than that. But yeah, we just decided like, all right, this is an opportunity to like film dumb, funny stuff to like, I don't know, make us feel like we're younger and kind of bring back some of the old stuff, like references to like Jackass. Remember how profound that was and how funny and fun that was?
Yes.
Or like any music that we do, it's all the music from like the 90s or like movies from Adam Sandler or something. There's like it's like a nostalgic kind of like, let's keep this thing alive. And
that's the 90s seem like they're coming back.
That's what we grew up on. Yeah, dude. The soundtrack to Dazed and Confused. That's I told him, I was like, stick to that, because that's some of the best music ever. You know, some like the best riffs, and like it just got you like jacked up, and it was so much fun. Anyways, so yeah, we were downtown in with Jim Bob, and people know who he is, and we didn't know what to expect, and within 2 minutes, just a swarm of people. And we had a friend of mine, his name's Glenny Balls. He's from Barstool, and he was our host. He was like the interviewer guy. So we had that little connection there. He flew in, and I haven't even looked at anything. So hopefully we got some good content.
Do you take a break? Do you take some time off? Do you try to take a few days before you get into the post side of stuff?
Yeah, this time I just passed it along.
Okay. Good.
I got pretty tired, man.
You're delegating.
Yeah.
That's a big step for you to be able to.
No, I know.
To delegate.
I know. Well, that's for
rather than doing it yourself.
Project. I don't know if you ever felt that, but you've always been a director. I've always like pride myself on editing. So to pass that to, you're like, hey, also do a really good job.
Yeah, do it like me.
Please, yeah. Well, now it's different content. So you're not trying to impress them by,
sure,
sound effects and this, kind of trick or this. And it's more of just, I don't know, just real, raw, funny, like moments and material.
I remember you were saying, like, you always say, like, you want to direct some videos, or do you still think that way, or are you kind of like lean more into the social content? I mean, which is obviously hitting more eyeballs.
No, I want to do both, and I want to do both because for the social media stuff, I realized that I can do it, and I still, because I've been a part of that that world, I get a high off of like the effect. And you could still have that, without social media. But if Hardy were to post something, or Jim Bob were to post something, and then it hits, that's when I feel, even if it's not a great video, I just like, all right, I did my job.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm doing the social media stuff, but I've learned that I love to be in the room of creatives before you even go out there, and you're like, try to get your team together, and you're talking about ideas, and you're like, especially if you're doing it with your friends.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. You know what I mean?
Playing.
Oh, it's like, the best reference is Adam Sandler. All of his movies back in the day, he had the same guys, and what they did, they would rent out a cabin, and they would all just sit down, and they would just go, all right, let's write a screenplay. And I think they would do like multiple at a time. I mean, can you imagine making like millions of dollars and making people, like the entire world laugh with your best friends? And it was all the same people. And that's the dream. So that's what I like doing. And yeah, we'll see where it leads to. I don't know.
I think you're succeeding at it. You're enjoying it, right?
Yeah. The big projects they'll come, they will. And at the right time, I'll be prepared for it too. I think I'm putting less pressure on myself, and I'm just, whatever comes, comes. And
were you putting pressure on yourself to stay ahead, or be pioneering something, or I should be doing this?
Yeah, you know what it was? It was everyone was acknowledging me for the recaps and stuff. So then it was like, all right, now I want to do a music video. What has to be the best? You have this like. It's this stupid idea of like a responsibility to yourself to like.
Dude, I have it right now, right this very second, with Morgan Wallen. These photos.
Yes.
Okay. I'm coming off of.
So
I mean, every record, every album we have done, we've kind of. So and now I'm like.
I think there's a good thing and there's a bad thing here. I think it's always good to try to be better than your last project.
Agreed.
Because it pushes you and it actually reflects.
Yes.
But we have this artistic ego that, man, I've battled with, and I do know the feeling of like getting rid of it. and it's pretty nice.
How
I
did you
sleep
go?
a lot better at night.
How did you go about it? Was it personal work, just sitting with yourself, getting tired of it all and just saying, F it?
Okay, perfect example. So I've worked for Hardy for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He went from being my boss to like one of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So now that he's got music coming out, we have a responsibility of, we want his socials to be, you know, as good as they have ever been. Because,
elevated. Yeah.
Because once that is going, then the music will follow, and then everything, you know, then everything will do better.
Yeah.
So I have more of a responsibility to him as my friend to make sure his record and his music is as successful as possible. And my artistic ego, I just don't, I've learned to just put that aside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say that I'm not doing like really good work and I'm not still trying.
No, you're doing the better work,
but I'm not, it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's about him.
Mm-hmm. I'm relating to that.
So when you put it on somebody else, kind of, not the response, you're not putting the responsibility on somebody else. You're putting
faith.
No, what's the word? What am I thinking of? You're caring more about them than yourself, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's
because it's not to say that there isn't still pressure there.
No, I'm relating to everything you're saying. I'm relating to with right now with Jake Owen and I.
Yeah,
it's like I don't even see a rock star. I see
You've
my
been
friend
with him forever. Yeah,
I see my friend, and when we went to the O2, C2C, whatever, and we spent 2 weeks in Europe, our relationship and trust and bond really took shape. And when we got home, I just know it was just really, it's stronger.
Yeah, and he knows your work. He knows it's going to be good. It's not, you don't feel like, all right, this show, I got to get the best shots. Otherwise, I'm fired. I'll never talk to him again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, he's so rad. He takes all stress off me. He's like, look, there's no one. You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. I mean, honestly. Yeah. So like, if you get it, you get it. Mm-hmm. There's no stress.
Not everybody's like that.
Not at all. I mean, he's.
Yeah. But that also, I think that's with us on how like we pride ourselves on, we've always had like good relationships with the people that we work with.
Yeah.
And they know that will have an effect on everything.
Yeah. Because the artists know that you still are going at it at 130%.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know you are, and I know how they see me. I'm in some ways I'm weird looking. Weird because I'm so intense in situations where I'm not, like backstage or something.
That's why I love working with you.
You know, I'm not looking to party. I'm looking at things, and I'm looking. I can finagle a party, and I'm not killing any vibe. Trust me.
Yeah. No, I know.
But my eye is on the prize until like my head hits the pillow. Really, I'm ready to go at any moment.
Yeah, I know that you always have a goal, and I always look at that picture.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect example. You're like, I mean, I think we had 3 days of it, and you're like, I know that's the moment. I know I have to get it.
Day 1, day 2, I missed it. I was on the wrong side.
Yeah.
But I got one of you. I should get that. Have I seen you that photo? I've got a photo where I'm on the one side of the runway, and you're on the other, and Hardy is full screaming, and I'm head to toe.
I need to see this.
I'm head to toe on Hardy, and there you are like this. And I think you're like smiling, like your camera's right in it, and I'm just shooting.
I think you were getting the picture and I was getting the video. And I was like, how do we get the same moment? Yeah. Which is so great.
Yeah.
So when you come out again, that's what we'll do. Anytime that I'm out, I always think of, and it goes for anybody I work with, there's a moment and you're like, at least for me, it's like, all right, do I take this picture or do I get the video? And I'm like, God damn. And every time I'm like, I have no idea. Oh, here it is. And this is what, all right, I guess I took the picture, you know? I don't know if you feel that. So now,
well, I'm usually hired for the photo only.
Yeah.
Typically, so I don't have that stress. But I do. I did do some stuff with Jake on this summer, and I had that stress. I'm like, I want this for the video. It's gonna be amazing if I get it in the video. But then you're like, it can be forever living on my wall if it's up.
That's why we'll probably like. I mean, obviously, I want you to come out anytime you want, but like the Madison Square Garden.
That's the one.
I mean, it's his first time headlining.
That's the one he wants.
So he'll have certain moments that like they need to be captured with both of us.
That's the one.
and we'll make magic, but we won't have pressure on ourselves.
Well,
Okay, there's one a little
considering
bit.
they're hey,
You know what?
although I will say I have screwed up on a pressure moment that I know full well I was hired to do, and it was to get like a really rad pyro shot,
Mhm.
and I was just in my vibe, getting what I was getting, and then I knew, oh God, get to the shot, and I got to it kind of late, wrong exposure, and
Oh, fuck.
it's just like a white flame. You're like,
But do you think it was the pressure that fucked you up?
of one show, yes,
You were too in your head.
yeah,
Of
of one show, and
yeah.
yes,
You ever feel like that on music video sets?
no, wait, on one day shoots,
Yeah.
yes, it's the one. I call it the one day blues.
Welcome to country music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a 2 day shoot kind of guy. A lot of those big videos were a lot of 2 day shoots.
Yeah.
And then even as budgets started to drop, I would be finagling a 1 day shoot with a skeleton second day.
Mm-hmm.
I would find a way to get that extra day of coverage. And now it's just straight up 1 days. You're looking at a 12 or a 14 with, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've done 16-hour days, which were, I think, legal. 14-hour days, which were, now you hear that it's inhumane if you're 10.
Yeah, overtime.
Yeah, I mean, I've done them all, but 1 day shoots are just you. You definitely have to be a surgeon to get a 1 day shoot effectively, and to get everything you need in a 1 day shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't just loosey goosey a 1 day. Music video, that is. Music video.
This is a great opportunity because your recent video that you did, I was there for a hot second. I did not expect you to. I thought you were going to be all over the place. I saw a conservative, kind of composed Spidey who I think you just knew what you were doing. I think that's what it was.
I love that. I knew to get you in as that cameo. You came in, got the beer bong. I knew it was going to be.
Yeah, put up the cameo here.
That was awesome.
You weren't even with us, but like I first got there, and I give Hardy a hug or something. Somebody must have documented it. And then another guy comes up and he's in a robe, and immediately I'm like, oh, it's Kevin James. And he's so cool and he's so normal. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, nothing, just same shit, different day. I was like, it's pretty fucking cold out here. He's like, yeah. And I was like, man, we should probably go get a drink or something. And he had this moment and he turned to me and he was like, absolutely. And so we went on the bus and we were drinking whiskey for I don't know, 20 minutes or something.
Nice.
It was me, him, and Hardy. And then
was that before the party scene?
Because he was right before the party scene.
He was vibing.
Of all the famous people, one of the best dudes.
Dude, I didn't.
So easygoing.
He didn't put. I mean, I had dinner with him in the gang the night before, and yeah, it was just so down to earth.
Were you intimidated working with him or no?
No. No. But I love the fact that I don't think the shoot would have been because of a 1 day shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He made that 1 day shoot happen, executed, because I could focus on other things and not have to worry about making someone let loose enough, or I mean, it was a good choice, a great choice to have him on, but
the cameo in itself is that was gold.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was wonderful to have him because he made the day go smooth because of his just production savvy skills. And that video came out fun because the thing they mentioned was they wanted an early 2000s throwback. And I'm like, oh, I think I can do that.
I think I could throw a house party.
I think I can do one of them. I just did a post where I did where I saw that story of the year. What is it? Simple Plan had a 23-year since the album they dropped when I did a lot of their videos.
Mm-hmm.
Golly, man, it's crazy how
what was the biggest one?
What
was their biggest? Yeah, it was
Addicted to You. But there's also I'm Just a Kid.
Yeah,
and then I Do Anything.
And you did all those videos?
And then more other records. But that was really cool because I did a post of it. And I used to hide from that because I was like,
what?
This is going to make me feel old, or something like that. But dude, I was the response was fun to see all the people like, what? That's my childhood. Like, oh my God, I grew up to that.
Yeah.
It's really.
Even like your conversation with Hardy, like even like he's like blown away because we grew up on these people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person that would think like, oh, you're old for doing this.
No, 90. I mean, I
always say you're a legend for doing this, man. And I look at these pictures and it's just so.
I lean into it a little bit, now, because I think, well, kind of like you get older and you stay in this business long enough, you get comfortable in who you are, and I'm fine.
Yeah,
what this podcast has helped me do. To answer you way back when, it's helped me kind of lean into, I say this humbly, but it allows me to lean into my experience. It allows me to lean into my stories, and to realize that those stories are in fact pretty cool. And, it's fun to be able to tell those. So that's what I've learned.
But even when you're telling a story like on the bus or something, I remember you told us a story one time. It was when you were directing Eminem, like for the first time or whatever, that I was fired up. Like the way you were telling the story, I was like, I felt like I was there. And obviously I'm such a big fan of him, but no, all your stories are just so wild. And I'm such a nostalgic person, like in every which way. Like I still listen to that music all the time. I still shoot with a disposable camera because that's what my mom used to carry around. I love it. Look at it. I even have it right in my pocket right now.
Whoa.
Still to this day. Yep. Shittier the picture, the better.
That I agree. I agree completely. Well, that's funny because, I remember when we did the podcast, you were like, man, we got done. You were like, dude, I regret not asking, can I see Eminem's sweats? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring them for you.
I think you should explain to the people why you have Eminem sweatpants. This almost looks like he just went into his closet. And
sorry, Marshall. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta go to the bathroom. All right.
No, right? It was on the video when I was young. For
look how baggy these things are.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
so he left them.
Continue the story.
It was on a video shoot we did in New York with Obi Trice for Rap Name, and
Rap Name, dude. I was a big Obi Trice guy too.
D12 was there, and well, when these were the ones he was wearing, and he changed and left, and then
he has the full suit, doesn't he?
Yeah. But this one he had like a tank top.
This must have been before he had his own. He had his own brand. It was like Shady something.
Well, I remember the cool thing about there's a fun story about that day, and kind of related to clothing, was he came in. I came into the trailer, and he was, yo, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? And it was the morning after VMAs, so it was still pretty partied up.
So he was partying,
yeah. And it was like he was wearing a lot of gray. He was wearing all gray, and the backgrounds were kind of gray. We're in an urban area, so
he wore gray in like the "Without Me" music video. Same like identical ones.
And it was my first time working with him, and he had a do rag on, kind of thing. And I'm like, I want him to wear that. I want Slim Shady. I want the hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and maybe like, we can take that off. He's like, oh no, bro, that era's gone, man. This is the new one right now. I'm like, all right, cool. I leave, I come down, and there's Paul Rosenberg. The door shuts, and he goes, everything cool? Everything good? I'm like, he needs to wear anything other than gray, and it'd be rad if he could take that off.
Yeah.
Oh, he won't be doing that, man. I'm like, okay, cool.
Come on, Paul.
He walks in. He walks up to set to his mark, and He's not wearing that. He's wearing that. No do-rag, full slim. He gives me a wink.
Really?
Yeah.
He was messing with you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude. That's so fucking awesome.
Yeah. Those have been the ones.
What was real quick, just because I will always remember this story, and it was you were on set. It was Yellow Wolf featuring him.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell me the story because I only remember the parts of it. He fucked with you like again, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Marshall's humor is dry.
Yeah.
And he's Eminem.
Yeah.
So you're already intimidated in a fashion. Like, so if you were to say, so were you like nervous, intimidated to work with him? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, even though it was the second time.
He was easily the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, he's just intimidating, but he's really cool. I remember him coming down from the church steps, and he remembered me. Look at my clean shave over there, right?
Yeah.
And if you in the video we did with Yellow Wolf, I have a beard like you, and he comes down the steps, and he's doing this. So he remembered how young it was when we worked together, which was really, really special.
What was the time gap?
22 years.
22?
I'm 22 years old there.
No. I mean, like, okay, from that video, which was year what? That was 2000.
Oh my God. Whatever that video was. Four? Hey.
You're asking me like I know.
4 and
then the Yellow Wolf one was
15.
Okay. That's a long time. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And Paul Rosenberg said, he's like, hey, yo, and we don't call him Ryan anymore. We call him Spidey. And he goes, okay, Spidey.
That's right, because Aldine gave you that name.
Yeah. So that was a really cool thing. But what was the story you were? Oh,
he
So
he fucked with you again. Like,
so
during the set.
when you're shooting him, man, you're trying to please him. I mean, you're trying to get these takes, and he wants to look at every full take that he does. So when he does his lines, and then he wants to go back and analyze them.
Yeah, you're trying to get what you want, but you're also trying to please him. Yeah.
So then we go back to Video Village, and he's watching it. Now, he's not watching it by himself. He's watching it with 20 other people, big wigs all around. And you're sitting there watching your dailies of a shot, kind of confidently going, You're like, you know, and then he's like, no, man, I don't know. We're quiet. And everybody's like, so what are you thinking? It's whatever. It's cool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Like that. I go, okay, but I got to fix that. He's like, just whatever, dude. It is what it is. Just keep doing. And I'm crushed, dude. I'm crushed because I'm like, I'm sweating.
Yeah, you're shitting yourself.
In my mind, I'm delivering strength, you know?
Yeah.
And then I go, just to get out of the situation, I go, okay, you know what? I think I know the solution. I'll be right back. I get a little bit down the way. He goes, yo, Spidey. I go back, and he's like, just fucking with you, dog. It's great. Like that. I'm like, oh my.
Picking up the turds off the ground like after you just shat yourself.
Right, dude.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that's they're a great camp. I mean, it's just like, and I saw them not too crazy long afterwards at Bonnaroo. Really cool.
You got to shoot that show. Sweet.
Really fun to just.
I wish we were able to go through, which we can't. I mean, technically we could on the phone. Well, I want to go through some of your work. I wanted to go through some of the Morgan shots.
Oh, what do you think of the new Morgan?
The 2025 Morgan Wallen.
The new. You've only seen 2.
I know, and I'm already into him. You know, he like his music. From what I've been told, and I've heard some stuff. He's in a different era. He's got some war on drug type music. You know what I mean? And
that's what we listen to on all of our sets.
Nice.
Like, so when we did, we've done. This wasn't the cover, but this was. They're all for the albums, right? And every one of them have been war on drugs.
Yeah. Leading up to it, is it like you sit down with him or you call him and you're like, what's the vibe you want to do?
Yeah.
Or is it you just pick a location and you're like, we're going to go with this. What do you think?
It was it was an idea presented to me as the locations each time.
I do remember because the last album was like his hometown. That picture was actually in front of his
grandmother's house or something that he would spend summers at and winters, and really a lot of his dreaming stuff. Apparently, like a lot of those ideas and stuff he would spend there came from that.
Real quick, that picture. How many pictures do you think you took in that specific location at that time? Then they were like, "Oh, that's the one."
Of the cover?
Yeah.
10.
Nice.
If. That cover, the challenge on that cover, it wasn't a challenge. It was because of the shape of the house and the bushes. If you move around the house, there really was only that angle.
That is a specific angle. You're shooting kind of up.
Yes. It made everything, the house and the things work. If you come around, and I did shoot it down the path of the walkway, it's more frontal. Right. And I shot, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But he had a reference. His reference was an Eminem cover for, I think, Slim Shady or
sweet.
One of those. That was that. So that's how that came.
Was it his choice to? He's got that one. He kind of has this like 80s influence. Is it the 80s influence? What is it? He's wearing the specific glasses with the white jacket. Was that him or was that you? Or
not me. The look, placement, shot, color, all that is me. I don't really get too in the. I wouldn't have. No, I did mention on that jacket to not have it on any other shot until that shot because it was sunset, and I didn't. I didn't want the white to be reflective in all the other high key daylight stuff.
Yeah.
So that was my only recommend to make that later, but I did love it.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I heard someone say, "Loving the dad era." Dad, I'm like, what does that mean?
I don't know what it is.
What is that?
Man.
I mean, just because he has
80s dad, if he was a pimp or something.
I mean, he looks dope to me. I don't know.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, no, there's some photos in there that I mean, I will say this about the shoot. Of any of the other shoots I've done with Morgan, this was the one that he himself had the most selects.
Oh, really?
A ton.
Okay.
A ton of selects that he personally loved.
Okay.
So I'm like,
that makes your job easier.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's it makes it all easier.
Rather than he looks at a folder and also
oh God, I like these 5, you know, but like, no, for when you're doing a guy like Morgan, an artist like him, you're going to have so many needs for photos of, he doesn't have to worry about it now. You can get into the next phase, the touring phase, right?
How many wardrobe changes did he have? Obviously we saw 2.
4 or 5.
Okay. How long did it take to shoot?
About 4 hours.
Wait.
But some of that was just me being slow because the sun, that was a hard shoot. From a production standpoint, I'll give you the backstory on that. It was, and it's kind of hard to say now because I haven't seen any real big shots yet.
Yeah. Could come out tomorrow.
I know. We never know. And there are some biggies. Yeah. But there are. I mean, I even look at our progression and it was boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm always looking for to better it.
Yeah.
But the weather on that day, unfortunately, 10 days out, was rain, cloud.
Oh, leading up to it?
Yeah. I'm like stoked. Done. Me and a dang camera can crush this thing.
Right.
You know, because I just love that look.
Yeah.
Then it got closer to the day and it was going to be just pure sun.
Nothing like some harsh light.
No, yeah. And I'm in the middle of this area, you know, and it's like wide open. No problem. And I don't like to strobe. So I didn't strobe.
Yeah.
I don't typically want to do that on these because for album or musicians and stuff like that, I do kind of like the rawness of it.
Oh, yeah.
Feel. So then I realized, okay, I'm going to have to block that sun, which means I'm going to need at least a 12 by.
Yeah, I was going to say something pretty large.
Then,
especially if you want to get some wide shots. Yeah.
Then you have a 50 mile per hour winds, 40 mile per hour gusts.
When was this? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, about a month ago. It was just like, that's what did it.
Yeah.
So it's just like hard to work under those things on a production. I mean, you'll never know it looking at the photos.
Right.
Never in a million years. But again, you could easily strobe it, but then it would be a different look.
I keep looking at this one, and I feel like it's almost not the same vibe, but wide open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daytime.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it was windy as hell.
It was. And you know what's interesting?
That's what is it?
Look at the
Colorado
shadows.
or what is it?
No, Vegas. Vegas. Look at the shadows under the bike. See how soft they are?
Yeah.
You know why?
Huh.
Look at the sky. I caught just some
it
little
was the perfect
haze of light. It came through, and I remember jumping up from my seat. They were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And because I was waiting because it was just so high key, and then just something kind of diffused it, and I was like, kick.
Yeah.
That was it. It's great that you noticed that. That's exactly what that is. Those shadows are real soft.
Dude, I love it because it almost looks fake, but it's still very raw and it's still
raw.
It's just
Like that one of Jake behind you.
Yep.
That was minutes. That was just before going on.
That's sunset, right?
Yeah. Like 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Is that your idea? You're like, hey, you want to just go on
It's
that roof?
his.
It's awesome.
And you know what else was his idea?
Mm.
Not only that, go change clothes.
Wow.
Before doing it, he changed. It was like, dude, I got the perfect. Like that's the.
Dude, rarely do you get that.
I love it.
Rarely
I mean,
do you get that.
Jake is so aware of photography. He is an amazing
Great bust,
photographer himself. Yeah. Well, all tour, I was saying, you know, Jones Beach.
Yeah.
There was a moment I was trying to get bus vibes, you know, like just I couldn't get it. It was such a sunny day.
Yeah, we've been there I was 3 years ago or something.
I like it there. We caught a shark.
Okay.
So right off the thing,
just a casual shark.
Just a little sand shark or some shit. Do you have a favorite venue in town? Just a favorite venue you've?
Man, it used to be about the venue, and it's not about the venue. It's all about the people. So you're like, all right, what's the craziest crowd that we've ever played in front of? Man, I mean, Faster Horses Festival. I will always remember that. I mean, we all like go out there and we're like, holy shit, you know, even Hardy's like, oh my God. Anything in Ohio. I think there's one called Country Concert or something. Anything in Michigan. It's weird to say that like the Midwest is like the biggest country fans ever.
Yeah. Do you prefer festivals? I mean, do you not prefer? Do you enjoy festivals? Some people, some of our folks don't necessarily, content guys don't necessarily like festivals because you got all the.
Well, I feel like I'm stuck on stage because it's just a sea of people. You know what I mean? No, I think arena is my favorite. Arena is probably my favorite.
Stadiums? I don't like stadiums.
Man, when I used to do stadiums, I was just a one-man band. I remember Detroit, which is what's the stadium in Detroit? The Lions Stadium.
Ford.
Dude, I remember because we were like the opening slot, you know, we weren't the headliner, but we had some time, I think probably like 45 minutes or something. Dude, I ran my ass, and this was like post-accident, so I have like a gimp of a foot. I'm running across a stadium, and then I'm going up the stairs, and I'm sprinting. People think that I'm like, sometimes I worry.
You're stealing something.
When I have this big gimbal, the big black gimbal with the camera on there, everyone's like, that looks a little suspicious, you know, running across. Oh, I'm sprinting. I'm treating it like it's like the Olympics. And I go up there, and I get the shot. I'm like, all right, I got to get all the way back, and I got to get this moment because I know that it's a moment that has to be on stage. Yeah, I don't miss those. No. I don't want to do those anymore.
They're hard too. Stadiums are hard to get.
Yeah, you'll get that big wide shot, which is like,
that's it.
This is incredible that I'm even here.
Yeah,
I don't miss the running around.
To get coverage, get from one to the next, to get a different angle coverage kind of thing, a significant change. You're missing a song. I mean, you're missing a song.
I know. And to have to do it by yourself, fuck, that's a lot, man. You know what I mean? And I'm getting the video plus photo.
Is there anything you're taking into the new tour? Is something that you're ready to, you want to try out, or just something you're? You
know, it's funny that you're talking about Jake. I think Hardy, once he had this kid, he's like a different person, and not totally different, but he's like the best version of himself.
Yeah.
And now me, Tracker, his manager, we talk about it all the time. He's so eager to work. Like we even did liners at his house like 3 days ago, and he was like, no, I think I could do that better. Let's try it again. And I'm like, you've always wanted to just get
throw it
this
away.
over with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's so eager, and I'm hoping that like he's already sent me ideas of some like recaps or like some songs to use. And like,
hell yeah.
I haven't had that in a while. So I'm excited for that. We're all just so like, we're just eager to get out there. He's even talking about, 30 some shows. Well, let's start doing 50 some, you miss it. I'm addicted to it. I don't know.
I know. I can't wait to get back out myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to
pick a show and you better be there, man.
I'm coming out to definitely to Madison Square Garden in that run for sure. I'm looking forward to it, man.
You gotta give me that picture of us both on stage.
I will.
Not on stage, but of that moment.
That moment. I know it. I know it well.
Yeah, I need that.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for, coming in here and talking. This is
season 1.
Yeah, season 1 is kind of, to bookend it with you is an honor. Honestly,
dude,
I really
anytime
mean
you
that.
call me, I'm like,
and I know that, and we can go a month without talking, and then you'll get a rando from me. Yo, what's up? And I know if I call you, bam, what's up? Hey, I can't talk right now, but you know what I mean.
You know why
pick
that
up.
is?
Why?
You got the same birthday.
Yes, true. That is true.
What are our goals for season 2? You mentioned we got more cameras.
Yeah,
we got
more cameras, bands, the room, so that the art direct the room, so everything will be in it. You saw us do some ideas where we went to Hardy's house and stuff like that. That was cool. Maybe keep bringing some of those in. Kind of being more streamlined inside the podcast. Really, different cameras,
just more, better.
Yeah, just more. There was a couple. I think Houston's podcast we could have easily used. There was like 7 people here, and it was just him on the pod. But there was a guy sitting right there on the floor, and it's funny because you're sitting there talking, and you hear like that, and we both jump up and look, and he was like, "Sorry, you killed a mosquito or something."
Oh.
Or something. I'm like, we're like, but so now everybody.
Then you should have had cameras outside afterwards. You know what I mean? That's the real shit,
dude. Remember that? Like we were the earlier episodes. They were all at night, right? And we were out back after the
bonfire, drinking whiskey. Awesome.
That was
we could still do that.
Man, that was fun.
Time's not going to stop us.
No, not at all, dude. And for me, there's been a lot of growth in over 60 hours of talking to rad industry people and getting to know things, their processes, their techniques, their quirks, their struggles. Really, as another one.
I love it. I love the variety of it. You know what I mean? I'll be a In the Trenches fan for seasons to come, man.
Thank you, brother. Well, let's get you a hoodie, huh?
Yes. Yes.